Alright, sorry I haven't got anything really uploaded for the last week. Haven't had time, but most of my stuff that's been going has been going fairly well. Did get a few more, or another bottle bottled into my nice little blue bottles like this, and that we're drinking through rather quickly. So based on that, I need to make quite a bit more cider. So as you can see, I've got 6 of my Member Marks bottles, 1 of a 360 bottle, and then I've got another bottle that I'm going to make a pomegranate and cider. So I'm going to take that bottle of pomegranate, put it in first, and then as I filter off cider from the Member Mark bottles, I'm going to pour it in there until I'm up to a certain level. I think I'm going to use a cup of honey in there, and I haven't decided which yeast, whether it'll be the S-04, the S-05, or I have a new yeast that I came across called QA23. It's supposed to be good for cider, so I'm going to try it out with doing each a honey and a brown sugar, and then I'm going to follow Jack Spillerco's idea of using a cuvee yeast, which an EC 1118 is, and then let's see, what is this? Pasteur champagne, and he uses a 50-50 blend of those two yeasts in his. So I'm going to try each bottle of one with honey and one with brown sugar and see how they come out. So it should be an interesting night. I got a lot of work to do as I try and as these first two, they're going to be based off of, one is white sugar and the other is priming sugar. I'm going to see how those come out and how they come out differently, but I'm going to use my standard S-04 since I know that we like the little bit of sweetness it leaves behind, and we found the cider that we got is very similar to the S-04, maybe a little bit drier and a little more crisper on the apple, but overall very similar to it. I'm hoping that we find, and the QA23 is very similar in flavor profile. It's quite a bit cheaper, but you get only about half as much in a packet, so I haven't decided. We'll see which way I really like. And then also down here that I think I'm going to try with the 360, I've got S-05. It's another SafAle from Fermentex or Fermentus and Fermentus, and we'll see how that comes out. It's handles down to a cooler temperature, and I don't know if you can see this very well. Current temperature in here is 62 degrees. It's been down to 59 in the last 24 hours, and when I had some cold spots last weekend, I was getting down to 57, 58. And the S-04 is not really made for that, and neither is the EC 1118. So I'm going to try some that go even cooler and see if they handle where I'm fermenting any better than what I've got right now. I'll try to take some video as I go along, but since I've got a lot to do, I don't know how much I'll get done. Alright, I know in one of my past videos I had shown where I had put honey and cider into my 2-cup measuring cup and warmed it up before putting it into the jug. I thought I'd show you this right here. This is brown sugar and cider. And this is after it's warmed up. It makes a nice syrup that is much easier to pour into the bottle than trying to get at the powdered brown sugar in all by itself. This is the technique I found that seems to work a whole lot better for getting the sugars into the bottle quicker, and it gives a little more warmth to the bottle, so when the yeast start going, and they've got some warmth to go in from. So I know I hadn't shown actually what it looks like after the sugar is warmed up, and all I'm doing is warming it in the microwave on a warm water setting for 1 cup, and it seems to come out pretty good. Alright, all done. I have 8 new bottles of cider brewing. Should be interesting to see how the pomegranate cider comes out. It's got a very dark color compared to the others, but even my brown sugars have a very dark color to them too, so we'll see how this works. It took me probably an hour and a half altogether with a few interruptions. It's a couple hours after I started, but I have 6.5 gallons or 6 gallons and it's ready to go. So it looks pretty good, and we'll see where it goes from there. A couple of them already started bubbling, so we'll see what they're doing in the morning.